Again with Corel Draw tips and tricks, and I will admit this video would be a little bit over the top, but I was just playing around tonight drawing name tags, and I've been doing quite a few lately, and these name tags are made up of some weird designs, and as you can see, a bunch of lines, but this is the easiest way to probably produce these than anything I've ever done on a video. So if you did these 12 name tags, it would take 2 minutes and 30 seconds to cut out. If you did these same 12 name tags spaced out like a normal name tag, it would 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It would save you 40 seconds just on 12 name tags. If you had a whole sheet of them, it would be multiple minutes. And this is kind of a fun project, and I just thought I'd share how I designed this, and I will admit this is over the top. But just kind of bear with me and you'll see what I'm doing. I've got a name tag, it's 1 by 3, and I'm going to set my nudge distance on 3 inches. And I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate and move that over. And you know what, for the video I'm just going to make 9. And then I'm going to set my nudge distance on 1, and I'm going to make a duplicate, Control D, make another one. So I've got 9 name tags. Now my box is 9 by 3. So I'm going to group these together for a second, and I'm going to put them in the center of the page. And I'm going to draw a rectangle that is 9 by 3. And I'm going to put it in the center of the page. And as you can see, it overlaps. Now I'm going to set my nudge distance to, now I'm going to set it to like 4 inches. And I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and I'm going to fill in these gaps. And just bear with me and you'll see what I'm going to do in just a second. It's kind of a fun project, and you'll hopefully, if you don't ever make a name tag, you could use it for other items. All right, we've got those now, and we're going to take our box and we're going to move it out of the way. Now I'm going to hold down the alternate key and select those 3, and I'm going to move them down. They're all grouped together. Now I'm going to take my shapes and I'm going to left click, no fill, right click hairline. Now I'm going to take my box back and move it up. And there's a number of ways you could do the rest of this. And you'll see in just a second. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these corners off. It's going to take just a little bit of time. You could do this later because there'll be more lines to cut off. But I just ran the test and it worked beautiful. It cuts really fast and kind of unique. And I really should have deleted these after I had my other lines in there. Whoop, deleted the wrong one. So now you see you have this name shapes of the name. Now I'm going to take my 2-point line and just make a straight line. I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. Make it a little bit longer. And I'm going to nudge it up 1/2 inch to get into that first one. I'm going to make a duplicate, Control D. I'm going to move it up 1/2 inch. Move that down 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to take another straight point line, holding down my Control key so it's level. I'm going to put it in the center of the page. And this is 3, so now I need to move it over 1.5. Control D. Now move this one over. I don't need to make a duplicate of it, but I did. Just delete that line. Now come back with your virtual segment delete key, and that's where I just said that I could have waited and deleted these lines later. So what's going to happen, these lines are going to cut straight. And you necessarily would not have to cut these other lines out, because the laser, by the time it moves over, but I'm going to, just for the video, I'm going to cut these lines out. And it might make it a little bit easier to understand or see. So it's a little bit of setup time, but if you did this for a whole sheet, it'd be a lot quicker because then you could duplicate it down. So now we're ready to run, with the exception we need to kind of figure out our cut order. And to do that, let's go to Windows, Dockers, Object Manager, and we're going to click on this, and you see it's of a curve in this group of curves. So all these curves are in this group. So what we need to do, we need to lasso all those curves. And I really can't remember how I did it just now. Tell you what, we're going to use the nudge distance. We're going to get rid of these for a second, so it'll be less confusing. I'm going to get rid of all this because we've got way too much information on our curves. Now, I don't even have to do that because it's grouped them together, and well, that's where they were on my original one. I've still got my nudge factor. I'm going to set my nudge factor back on 4, and I'm going to move that down. Move that down, move that down, move that down, move that down. Now I'm going to group these together. And if you can see, they're on the bottom. I don't even have to group them together. I need to see what this curve is, and it's that outside. So I need to see what these curves are, because you want these cuts first. So all I need to do is move this curve just above there. Now, the other day when I made a video, I made a mistake. It is going to cut from the bottom up. So then all you have to do is put this back, your original deal, and this would take a lot less. Now, I'm going to admit this took me a couple minutes to draw, and if you did a whole page of them, it might not save you that much time, but if you do it repetitively on this size of a name tag, and when I say that, let's think about this. These are 1x3s. You can always reduce them, and you'd have to group them together. Go to range and group. Then you could reduce them and make the distance, let's make it 6 inches by 3 inches. So now my name tags are, my individual name tags are 2 by 1s. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too confusing. And I think I'm going to do a second video on how to get your name or your object centered, because you're not going to be able to do anything else with these items like they are to put names on them. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching.